What's my cue?
Hey bestie, it's Kati Wasserman. I am a mom, an esthetician, the owner of Flagstaff Skincare Med Spa, and Prickly Bear Skincare, a post-hair removal line. I started Beauty Talk Confessions because honestly, I got tired of how fake the beauty industry can feel. The conversations that happen between wax strips, peels, and facials that no one ever talks about publicly, we are gonna go there. So grab your coffee, get comfy, and let's peel back the layers, one confession at a time. Welcome to Beauty Talk Confessions, where the secrets come out and the glow gets real. Welcome back to Beauty Talk Confessions. I'm your host, Kati Wasserman, and today's conversation is one that brings us right back to the foundation of everything we talk about on this show: the nervous system, inner peace, and the kind of grounded beauty that cannot be bottled. In this episode, I'm sitting down with Colleen Fletcher, a mindfulness guide, embodiment teacher, and nervous system educator whose work is all about helping women return to their inner safety, softness, and self-trust. Through her insight, timer practices, workshops, and daily teachings, Colleen helps people reconnect with their bodies, regulate overwhelm, and create a calmer, more present inner world. What I love most about Colleen is the way she blends the nervous system science with compassion-based practices. She doesn't teach mindfulness as a buzzword. She teaches it as a way of life, a way to soften, a way to come home to yourself, a way to find beauty in spaces that we usually just rush past. In our conversation, we dive into her 30-year journey as a healer, how emotional stress shows up in the skin and body, and why so many service providers live in burnout mode, and what it truly means to cultivate safety from within, not just from ourselves, but in how we show up for clients, partners, and the people we love. If you've been craving a gentler approach to life or just need permission to slow down and breathe again, this episode is going to feel like a deep exhale. All right, let's dive into this conversation with Colleen Fletcher. Hi, I'm Kati Wasserman, and I'm here today with Colleen Fletcher. She is a mindfulness guide, embodiment teacher, and a nervous system educator who focuses on helping women return to their inner safety, softness, and self-trust. Thank you so much for being here today, Colleen.
Hi, Kati. Thanks. It's wonderful to be here. I'm excited.
I am as well. Well, we were just chatting before we started recording, and I would love to let everyone know and kind of get a little bit more deep dive on your story and how you got to this point of being a mindfulness teacher.
Well, it is a longer one. It started over 30 years ago now. What really started me, my first license was as a massage therapist, and it started in Oregon, in the US, and that state is licensed. The one I live in now is licensed, but it wasn't up until a few years ago. So it is a bit of a distinction. So I started with that. One of the first things that kind of broadened my outlook a little bit was the oils and lotions that I used gave me rashes on my hands. So I had a really hard time in using product. And that information comes into play later on with my story here with it, of what merges everything together. So just kind of keep that in mind with what I ended up doing. After the massage license, it was good, it was great, but I noticed so much more with people than just the physical aspect. So that led me into doing Reiki. And yeah, I went all the way. I did a lot with Reiki then, and it was just that combination of the body and then that spiritual or the energetic aspect with the body as well. So that made a really big difference for me. Then after that, a friend of mine wanted to take this long hypnosis course. And at the time, professionally, it was not the best time to be moving my business to a new state, but my husband got the job, and it just turned out that I sold my business in Oregon and moved to Idaho, which was
Wow.
interesting. interesting move,
Yeah.
but for the family, it worked out really well. So I jumped in really quickly and did, I don't know, I just remember weeks and weeks of taking this hypnosis course with my friend right before as I'm packing and trying to get everything taken care of for that. So yes, I'm a hypnotist. And it wasn't just like the weekend. I have like the training, some of it is, like the remote viewing and the FBI kind of stuff with it.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
and how to do surgeries,
Oh,
and
wow.
dental work, so like
Okay.
not just the new agey stuff with it, so I have a lot of that, which is very, very fascinating, very interesting, um, adjacent piece of information to have with it. So
Yeah.
there's that. Then I got to Idaho. I'm like, wow, there's just all this other stuff that opened up to me with the mind part of it.
Okay.
So I kind of, I didn't know anyone here and I met people, and one woman was having this, women's group really. And that's what led me down the path of the metaphysics.
Okay.
And again, it was not just the new agey part of it, it was the old school. So I got connected with the school that's now like 150 years old or something crazy like that.
Oh my gosh.
And um and that piece of it has shifted and changed because the world has shifted and changed as well. So now there's online types of things that you can do with it.
Yeah.
So we did that. So I'm a metaphysician, which, what the mind thinks the body follows. That's a lot of
Yeah.
that type with it. Well, then in all of my work with people, when you do a massage, you work on the skin, right?
Yeah.
There's some parts of the face that I could do,
Okay.
some parts that I couldn't do. And I thought, well, I'm just gonna go back to school. So I did. So I'm a licensed esthetician as well. And that's the part that just kind of puts it in this different realm of everything. And that's what really comes back into play for the rashes that I was getting on my hands, when I first started my career. So I really had this outlook of looking, um, what else is going on with the skin? How does that play with the mind, with the stress aspects and where it's turning up and what else you can do for that? Because sometimes it is just a matter of the products you're putting on. Sometimes it's a whole realm of stress, and that's why everything is coming out. Um, so I just, I don't know. To me, it really makes a difference of that the whole body, mind, spirit. What you put on your body, how you treat your body makes a
Yeah.
difference, and what you put into it. That all makes a really big difference. The mind, what you think. If you constantly are putting toxins on your body and then thinking, "Gee, I'm really stupid," for whatever reason, who knows where that one's coming from, but you can just see this continual spiral and what happens with people, and that's the kind of stuff that I like. I want people to thrive no matter where they are, because we're
Yeah.
all in a different place and we all have different experiences and things that we care about and how we care for ourselves. I just want people to thrive.
Oh my
So,
gosh. That's beautiful. You really are a true healer, and it's beautiful to hear your story of starting with massage and then transforming to Reiki, which I've experienced some Reiki, and I feel like it has informs meditation effects with people and that connection and just feeling energetically in a different way than some people have
mhm,
ever felt.
mhm. And I just forgot. I
Yeah.
I am like a mindfulness. I have like this worldwide certification in mindfulness meditations as
Oh my
well.
gosh.
So that's a really big part too. I totally forgot
Yeah,
about it. And the
that's
meditations
huge.
for me on a personal level started, I think it's 1973. So,
Oh my gosh.
so I have been meditating for a very long time, which actually makes a really big difference as well, because I learned how just to sit down and listen,
Ugh,
you know?
that's
No, you don't
beautiful.
have there was no music that you could have on your phone to put you in
Yeah.
this space to do this. It's like you just sit your butt down outside and you listen to the ants wander around
Oh my
and
gosh.
the wind blow through the trees, you know? So
Ugh.
that it is a very, very different perspective for me
Yeah.
because I cannot understand how people cannot just go outside or sit in a room. I mean, I get it,
Yes.
but to me, it makes no sense. You just sit down and you just do it.
Yeah. It's
But
become just so like
yeah,
your body's so used to it at this point and everything like that. It's just part of your daily life now. I love that.
yeah, yeah. So that's actually why I took that training so that
Okay.
I could learn more about what I didn't know
Okay.
from that perspective. I'd already been teaching and doing things with it for so many years, but I didn't know what I didn't know, and I wanted to help more.
That's
And
beautiful.
that's so yes, there's that. That's a big piece of what I do too.
Yeah.
So
That's amazing.
yeah.
I want to learn a little bit more about that meditation. Was that a class that you started doing in person with someone kind of guiding you, or was it self-guided because you were able to take yourself into nature and effectively work through things, or
Which one are you referring, like the one that I took recently or the one that I did as a kid?
the one that you did as a kid that kind of started this whole
Okay.
journey and made it now just a daily normal practice that you
Yep.
do?
So that was the transcendental meditation. My
Okay.
dad was doing that, and he took my brother and I down to, I don't know, I just remember kind of walking down the street and um my dad remembers more of it. It was just I don't remember the guy's name, but he did his thing with my brother and I, and we just kind of started doing it. And Transcendental
That's great.
has that mantra that you repeat after all the
Yeah.
time. So I have never done more with that, partially because I didn't know where to go,
Okay.
you know, and then probably once when I got a bit older, then I moved overseas, and that wasn't it wasn't really there, you know, I really didn't know who to go to then, so I just kept up with my own practice with it, and it was never one that I did all the time, you know.
Okay.
We were all teenagers, and we all didn't wanna do something, right? So
Yeah.
there was that. I just kinda merged it all into my own thing, and and again, that's why I took that training because I didn't know what I didn't know, and I wanted to
Yeah.
help more, and so that's how that all came about.
Okay. I love that.
Mhm.
And then the training that you took, how was that a different practice than the transcendental practice?
Transcendental meditation,
Yeah,
yes.
transcendental
Yeah.
meditation.
Um, it was, it's a mindfulness practice, and that's the stuff that I think I will admit I had a really hard time with the training because it's not that I truly don't think I know everything. I'm the kind that thinks the more that I learn, the less I know.
Okay.
But I had a hard time articulating that maybe. And, you know, I didn't understand what they wanted sometimes. And I'm like, well, can't you just sit down and do it? And
Yeah.
they had all these fancy words and all these things. And I will admit, I struggled with it from getting I well, what I had to do was learn how to just make the teacher happy.
Okay.
And so I've gained, you know, I gained a lot of knowledge about myself from that perspective, but they didn't want to hear that either.
Yeah.
Right? So it just it was a very interesting process for me. You know, I have good verbiage now. I have outlines that make things easier, but I'd already been a hypnotist and writing full out scripts and really getting into people's subconscious mind for years anyway. So it's like I got it. And then I had to take this step back of, oh, they only want this piece of information. They don't want this piece of information. So it was very different. But it's the mindfulness practice. And it's a great way for anyone that hasn't done it, that didn't learn how to just plonk down outside and do it.
Yeah.
There are steps with it now. And so for people that are starting later in life, maybe, that didn't start as a kid, that just had this thing, um, I I really appreciate it for that aspect. It's been a hard one for me to reconcile.
Yeah.
The only thing I can really identify with that for myself is that I still don't get how people can't just sit down and do it. I'm like,
Yeah.
"Well, can't you just do this?" And I know that sounds a little bit like arrogance or obnoxiousness on my part, and I don't intend it. It's just I don't understand
Yeah.
how
It was
people
so
can.
natural for you at such a young age. And
Right. Right.
yeah.
So that's my struggle as well. Duh, just do
Yeah.
this. And again, I've never been mean to anyone about that, but it doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
It doesn't. So, but I can understand it better now. And from a different perspective, I have more compassion over that.
Definitely.
So,
Oh, well, I love
yeah,
that.
it's
So,
interesting.
well, it is very interesting,
Yeah.
and it's wonderful how natural it came to you at such a young age, and what we know now with mindfulness. And I've done a few mindfulness things in my life, and I feel like in different times I hear people bring back like gratitude journals and things like that, and just being mindful, thanking people and being connected, being in the moment, and
Right.
how that takes time. And then also like if you are dealing with things, doing brain dumps. And I find it's interesting we have all of this information on it, but it's not something that through like school systems and things like that that they're introducing at such a young age, where that is when the mind is molding and really can make this a practice that's not as resisting. Because I feel like
Mhm.
as we get older and I get stuck in it myself, I know what I need to do, but to get that step to do it, sometimes it's like, but I just don't want to do that right now. And that I think we could eliminate that feeling a little bit more if we're introducing it at such a younger age. And what you've said, you're like, I just don't get it. And it's
Yeah.
really beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I wouldn't attach the word beautiful to it right now. Honestly, it, it's weird for me.
Yeah.
It is. And I think sometimes I've just learned to kind of be quiet about that a little bit more. Uh,
Yeah.
it's all good.
That's
It's
great.
all good, I have compassion for people when they can't do it, and and here's another really big distinction that, in hypnosis as well, which is probably where I got that from. Everyone just always the verbiage with it is visualize.
Okay.
A lot of people can't visualize. They just can't do it. That's
Yeah.
not how their brain works. It's like, artists. Some people can't paint, but they can
Yeah.
draw, right? So there are all these different aspects with just saying visualize. So I think only using that verbiage has really cut out a major portion of people that are like, well, I can't visualize. I'm never going to be able to do this.
Yeah.
I don't so even me, I'm shifting my verbiage into things of, maybe some people just know it. They can just sense it. So feeling, sensing, knowing are also much more descriptive words for when we just casually say, let's visualize something.
Yeah.
So a thesaurus can be really handy even for things like this. And I think that it gives more of a support. I know that in my practice, it opens up more for
Yeah.
people that feel welcomed and like they can join in just by using different verbiage like that. So that has been an interesting shift as well in meditation practice and everything like that, and a hypnosis just of what resonates with a wider audience, and so that people feel welcomed. I think that's the best way to say it, so that you're just including more people with it.
Yeah. I could see that and feeling like they're able to do it and not so reserved from this idea of, well, I'm never going to get there, so why start kind of thing.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
And then it circles right back to we all have different ways of learning, of hearing, of what we want, where we want to go in life as
Yeah.
well. And you know, my idea of holistic beauty. Well, we're all beautiful in different ways. We
Yes.
we kind of got to be where we are, and then move forward with what we want. And I don't limit that to just women either. Men are beautiful as well. My practice is more women, but I definitely don't exclude on that it's only women that can be beautiful. So,
I love that. Thank you.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, your story is amazing. Are you still practicing massage and doing aesthetics, or have you mainly are you just focusing on the meditation and doing the hypnosis side of things?
My massage has shifted to somatic bodywork.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. For me to do this, I I feel I'm not accessing the person as much as possible. Now, maybe on the other side of that, I'm cutting myself off from a lot of clients as well.
Yeah.
But it's really hard on my body also. And
Yeah.
so after 30 years, I've got, you know,
Oh my
some
gosh. Yeah.
some things that go on. So with that in mind too, that's I've just really decided to do that somatic body work aspect. I think there's a lot with that too of I look at it like, well, why not do that if it's going to be more helpful? you
Yeah.
know, some of my massage training has been postural rebalancing, so I can go in and manually move muscles. So
Yeah.
I have that ability to watch someone walk and say, oh, here, here, here. Even though your shoulder's hurting, let's get your hip and your feet here, here, and here, and we can do this and get everything in that physical alignment. And then that helps to allow the energetics to flow through. And then the somatic aspect, if you've got constant stress because your shoulder is constantly hurting and doing things like
Yeah.
this, then we can work on easing all of that aspect with it.
Oh, that's great. That's wonderful.
So
So you've been able
yes,
to now mix it all together, which is
and now
wonderful.
I mix it all together. So yes, I still do facials. Yes, well, what I tell people is if you book for a facial, I will always pepper in other information. So if you have a question about, I don't know, past lives, we can do a little bit with that. If
Okay.
you have a really, really sore foot, we can address that. I will pepper in that work. If you want like a whole extended appointment, then that's a whole separate appointment with it.
Yeah.
And sometimes people come in and say, you know what? My skin is just, it's a horrible, messy rash right now. I can't cope. Can I get body work? I'm like, yes, that's not a problem. So
Oh,
there's some that are easier to set up last
yeah.
minute than others, but people know that and they're super honest. They know I'm being honest. And so they're honest, like, yeah, that's cool. That's fine. Um, do I do only hands-on stuff anymore, to kind of answer your question with that? That's not the bulk of my practice anymore. I
Yeah.
really I love working in groups with people,
Okay.
um, for some things. If I'm doing a Reiki training, I love doing it on a private basis. That is so cool because I gear it toward what they want,
Okay.
which is vastly different than a group of people coming together and taking what I want to teach you with it. You get
Yeah.
what you want and how to use it in your business. So there's that. I do a lot with classes. And, like this weekend, I have a class coming up. Um, I weirdly enough, I didn't realize this was a hard thing to do, but apparently, um, it is hard to teach to people physically in person and to have a camera going and to teach to a group of people on the camera as well. So,
Let's do that.
um, I teach that way too.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, for the class
Oh,
this weekend, if someone doesn't live here, they can still take the class because I'll just set the camera up.
that's
And
great.
so,
I
uh,
love that.
my I don't know, it works for me.
Yeah.
I do that. Um, eh, a lot of the things, I have group packages, like 3 or 4 different sessions.
Okay.
I have things that I've pieced together that way, that some are meditation, some aren't. Uh, you know,
I love
whatever
that.
best supports the person.
Oh my
That's
God.
that's how
That's
I
so
do it.
amazing. I love
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Well, I've experienced some somatic energy work when I was living in Colorado, and it was a really cool experience. What I experienced, I met someone and we chatted for a day. They did kind of a release work where it was a little bit of touch Reiki, and then the next day I came in for it was quite a while. It was like a 4 hour session.
Uh-huh.
They did some somatic work, had some tea. We worked through some things, and then I came back a month later, and it was really cool to
Mm.
watch myself at that time. I was in my 20s, just seeing kind of how everything was and the energy. It was really wonderful. And it was kind of
Cool.
my first introduction to what you
Mhm.
do. And I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I just met this person and I was like, let's go for it. And I remember being there and I was like, I have no idea if this is even working, but I am just going to go with it and be
Right.
present. And it was a really cool experience.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
good, and you know what I love hearing about that is that the outcome, because I've heard a lot of times, because people come to me afterwards and say, "I feel horrible now. What's going on in my body? Why do I feel
Oh,
worse?"
okay.
So it's always interesting to hear, other people's experiences with it. And,
Yeah.
from the professional end on mine, then I'm taking care of what someone else opened up and left them wide open with, and they don't know how to deal with it now. So there's
Yeah.
a lot of that kind of stuff. So I love, love, love hearing it when it just
Um,
like you fall into it. So that's amazing. That's
yeah.
amazing.
It was really cool. My memory of it, I was really closed off at the time, was in
Mm.
a transition of relationships, knew I wanted to move, but was struggling. I opened my first business, but I was kind of faking it as a business owner. I would take like one client and be like, you are amazing. You own your own business, and take myself on a date and spend all the money I just made. So it was not the most productive way. And that experience for me, I feel like gave me kind of a trigger of just trusting myself a little bit more and being more open to it. And I found I was able to connect. For me, my parents are very a part of my life and they're kind of my resource where I run like my business ideas by them. And I feel at that point, my voice kind of changed from I want to do this to I'm going to do this. And they just like fueled that behind me, which helped. And I've definitely gone over a lot of hiccups in the process and have taken steps back. But I feel like talking to you, I'm like, ooh, I kind of want to experience this again and see now where I'm at as a new mom and what else I could kind of
Yeah.
overcome and work through.
It's fascinating. to me. And again, that's why I love the individual aspects of working with people, because you can really like pinpoint it and do that. But then groups are so cool too, because the dynamics are so helping of, all that merging of other minds and workings and things like that. So I I can't say, you know, I think this is the best way, which I just
Yeah.
couldn't do either. I see such benefit in both. I do. I really see a benefit in very pinpointed, like how you're
Yeah.
talking. And then, like, I have a retreat in May. It's like, but there'll be people there that can help you, talk through things as
Yeah.
well, and just
Yeah.
that group support type of thing. I love that. I
Yeah. Oh,
I see such benefit. So,
that's so cool.
yeah. Yeah.
With your practice, you obviously see a variety of people, but do you tend to kind of connect with like business owners and people that are really trying to get through a transformation, or what do you feel like your ideal client is that you are seeing with these
Mm,
transformational experiences? Because you're really doing a even an in-person retreat, I
mhm.
feel like.
Yeah. Um, eh, I will admit it is in a little bit of a state of flux for me
Okay,
right now.
that's
Um,
good.
and I sometimes, they're hard to go through, because you're like, "Why is business not very busy right now? What's going
Yeah,
on?"
yeah,
And, but I just look at it, it's a time to shift within me.
yeah.
So, ideal people, um, again, I don't only work on women. Now, this retreat coming up, I am keeping that just for women,
Okay.
just because, it's just working out that way. So, I am on that one. Um, it normally is, yeah, millennials and their parents type of
Okay.
thing, that age group, we'll say 30 to 40-ish, and the ones a bit, their parents, whatever age
Yeah,
that brings them. And sometimes they're pretty close in age, and that's the stuff they're working through too.
yeah.
So, um, is it only women in business? 9 times out of 10, yeah, yeah,
Okay.
and creative thinkers. I really resonate with creative outside of the box-ish that, still let's just take a business owner. They're a small-time business owner, so they fit into that category, but they kinda dwell outside of
Yeah.
this. So, um, you know, people that love the environment as well. That's like I love animals, but I'll go for a tree. I
I
love
love that.
trees. Um, so that's a big that's the easiest way to say, what is a big aspect as well of millennials, their parents. They gotta care about the environment. They gotta care about themselves and do the work. Uh, if you're not willing to do the work, then we're probably not gonna be a good fit for it either. I want
Yeah.
proactive for themselves, uh, take me and my time seriously. That's another part with it.
Yeah.
So
Well, and it has to be for you to get the transformation and what people are looking for. If they're just coming and expecting just to have a transformational experience, maybe a massage is a better direction, and then they can kinda
mhm.
gradually step into the mindfulness side of things.
Right. And that tends to happen more anymore with facials. People come
Okay.
in and they just want a facial, and they're like, "Should I get Botox?" I'm like, "I don't care, but it's not how what I'm going to suggest for you."
Yeah.
And we kind of can't be doing facials right after you get Botox. You got to wait and let that stuff settle in.
Yeah.
Um, so the facials is the one that I think really people have in their head, I'm only going to get this, but I can offer all of this as well. And they think it's really cool, but they don't know how to deal with it. It takes them a while to learn how to deal with the fact that it is an option with it. And, some people don't even know, because it's not that I am not a very good upseller.
Okay.
Let that be known. I do not upsell. I mean, I'll talk about the other things that I do, but I'm not sure if you know this, or, your listeners do, but estheticians, it's a big one too. You're really trained to.
Yes.
Well, you get this basic facial, but if you want, aromatherapy is a huge one, the easiest one to describe. If you want aromatherapy when I work with you on your arms as part of the facial, then that's an extra $20.
Yes.
And I'm not an upseller.
Yeah.
So that makes a really big difference, and why I say I'll pepper in other information.
Yeah.
I can't upsell. I'm horrible at upselling, and my heart hurts with it. So I'm not going to do it.
Yeah. It's just not aligned with how you are, and that makes sense though. Well, and I feel like you also offer such a variety of things that you've probably experienced sometimes where you've made people interested, but then like you express the uncomfortableness of it. And then it's like the focus kind of gets taken away from them. And you've spoken so much about you want to have the focus always on them. And so I could see that being one of the reasons.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just one of those things that, sometimes it's a fine line, and then sometimes, you find out later that they went and found someone else to see. I'm like, well, I don't know. Did you know I can do that too? So it's like I want everyone to know it, but I don't want to upsell it. So I haven't found that fine line of that. So, oh well.
Well, you might get there. That's okay. And if not, it sounds like you're definitely making those great connections as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love it.
Absolutely. So I hope
Well,
I hope I answered your questions well enough, right?
yeah.
Maybe?
Yeah. I had a few more questions.
Yeah.
You mentioned I would love to know. So we've talked about I'm gonna read my question again because you took me, that was so beautiful.
Thank you.
But so many people in the service industry, like we chatted about at the beginning, we operate in a role of stress and burnout. And I know myself, we were chatting about it at the beginning. I feel like I kind of thrive on that in a weird way. And so it's something I would love to know. What is one way that you have seen the nervous system influence how we show up with like ourselves, our clients, or even with our relationships?
Well, I I'm the only reason I'm hesitating right now is because last year was the worst year of my life. It
I'm so
was atrocious. Most people are like, "Oh my God, I'd be done for completely." So, with how horrible it was, one of the things I knew is that I had to rewrite my identity in one area.
okay.
And I did not want to have um, the stress levels of where I was be rewritten in my brain, that then I was constantly that stressed and in such a horrible state. So I had to find ways that when, because I spent probably all of last year, maybe 2, 3, at the very most 4 hours of sleep every night. And I know that sleep deprivation is horrible. I know that if you constantly rerun negative things in your head, that's what you're rewriting in your head.
Yeah.
So, I still worked through all of it. And the one thing that I did is I ended up getting, weirdly enough, Kindle Unlimited.
Oh my gosh.
And it
Okay.
sounds really bizarre, but I like to read. Um, I I understand completely the thing of having a black mirror in front of me all day long. I get that. Um, but I also, on the other side of that, is the moment that my brain started going down a really, really sad, horrible path, to live in that state is worse.
Yes.
And I wanted to have something that I could, okay, let's at least stay here instead of dropping down all the time. So for me, it was Kindle Unlimited. When, midnight hit, I wanted to have another book that I could just quickly go through. And I've heard it said before that I have friends that they'll all say, all of my super, super intelligent, highly knowledge trained women read romance novels. And I'm like, yes, that's me.
I love that.
So that's what I read a lot. And
Uh,
and it helped to keep me from spiraling down. Now it didn't raise anything until time had passed. I could not even meditate, because the moment that I calmed my mind down and had nothing in there, everything else came in again. So I was very, very conscious about reading books all the time on my phone. It was the easier way, better option for me at the time. So I gave myself grace and compassion for that. But it took a lot of self-identity, or identifying how I want things. So I think that is one of the biggest things out there, is you got to look at yourself. If you don't know, then try a couple different things. Maybe meditation is the thing for you. Maybe, having a little worry stone, something like this. Had a client in the other day that she just whipped it out
wow.
of her pocket, and a lot of people that pick at their nails, things like this, these are great things to have. If you have, this one's not super smooth, but if you have a super smooth one, then you can put it underneath your eye and do just like a little bit of facial kind of stuff to help, so that when you look in the mirror and think, oh my goodness, do I ever look haggard because of the stress? You can just like, okay, simple little things that register with you, because we can all say, well, just tell yourself you're going to have a great day.
Yeah.
What does a great day mean? Today, that might mean that I'm going to get out of my pajamas and look at how amazing I am. It might mean that you do leave the house, you go for a walk, or maybe you just go in your backyard and walk there and, take 10 deep breaths in the water. I'm sorry, in the fresh air, clean water, all those things. So it comes down to what you like, what you want to do, and then giving yourself just that compassion of, can't do it how I did it before. All right, here we go. Here we go. Because sometimes life is just god awful for people, just
Yeah.
horrible. And it can give you a different perspective when you see people outside as well of compassion. We're all going through something, and I have a saying that smile, it can change your world, but how I write it is, it's a small case U and uppercase OUR, so it looks like your world and our world.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And so yeah, it's knowing yourself, and then grace and compassion. If you want a couple short sentences for it, just kindness. And I think that if you don't care for yourself, how can you care for anyone else? And it's always got to be here, always. And it can be really, really small things, very small, that if you compound upon them, then they will, roll down the hill and become bigger. Same with negative stuff too. So I always choose to find something kind and
Yes.
gentle. So
Mm.
yeah,
That's beautiful.
yeah.
I'm sorry that you experienced that really hard time, but I'm very happy to hear that you're on the other side now and having this outlook, and that's so much nicer.
It is. It has changed the family dynamics forever. I mean, it's so awful. It's bad, and it's ongoing. So,
Mm, I'm sorry to hear that.
we'll see. Yeah,
Mm,
yeah. But I'd much rather be happy than
yes,
dwell. And that's another really big thing with it. I knew that if I stayed there in the unhappiness and awfulness of it, uh, that
yeah,
was gonna be it. And that's not who I can be. I'm here to help serve other people as well, and I can't serve people if I am a mess, an utter mess.
yeah.
So
Well, and in that, you're not serving yourself because I
I
can see and hear how much you thrive on being able to connect
Mhm.
with people, and just your whole path and your journey has always been on connection and really that inner beauty. I find massage, you see people in such a different way, and I do facials and things, but I struggle with being quiet, and I find massage, like, you really having someone be quiet, you're experiencing something on such a deeper, profound level, and it's wonderful to see how you've
No.
grown and really been able to add all these wonderful things to your business and continue to help people in such a greater way.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you
Yeah.
very much. Yeah. Yeah.
Aw.
It's nice to see other people doing things too. I like it.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
do. Yeah.
well, I'm very excited for your women's retreat. I feel like that couldn't
Yeah.
come at such a better time, and is that are
Mhm.
you do you do ongoing retreats? If people are interested in retreats, is that something that you offer all the time?
Um, in this setting and in this is like a 5-day.
Oh my gosh.
This is a big one. This is the first. I've done like shorter type ones, a lot of those. This is a big one. It's in Oregon and it's at a hot springs.
Oh my gosh. Amazing.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
hot springs?
Crane Hot Springs
Okay.
around Burns.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
that's gonna be amazing and bring you back to where you kind of grew up and everything, right?
Nope, different part of the state.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's
It's
still
still
on.
Oregon. Yeah.
Yeah, it's still Oregon,
But
but a
Oregon's
totally
huge.
different part of the
Yeah.
state. And so each person can have their own individual like unit. You can share if you want. It's it's I'm really excited about it.
Mm. Oh,
And so then there'll be private tubs as well, and then one big one that you can use, like, when my husband and I go over for it, whatever time we wake up, like, we'll go out into the big public pool, and it's so awesome because most of the times there's no one out there, and I
um,
wake up or to get out there and watch the sunrise or
uh,
just watch the stars. It's great. It's
that sounds
great fun.
amazing. And
So,
what a
and
cool place to have a retreat too, to be experiencing the hot springs and what that does for a release and for the skin and soul and everything.
Mhm. Yeah, and then every day, we'll wake with somatic movement, meditation, different foods, healthy, nourishing type foods, that type of thing with it. There's a lot of rest time. I think that's the biggest thing that I've noticed as well is that people don't know how just to rest. So
Yeah.
it's planned time. Yes, I get that, but it's
Mhm.
planned time to rest.
Oh, that's really
A
cool.
gentle walk, go back to your own unit, take a nap, that type of thing. So there's going to be a lot of that. It's very
Oh,
exciting.
I'm
Yeah.
so excited for you.
Yeah.
I will
Thank you.
definitely want to follow up and see how it goes once you
Yeah.
have that retreat. And if you're going
Yeah.
to do another one afterwards, it'll be
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. My plan is I have some options. I could do some overseas probably as well, some fun ones. So
Oh, well, it's starting. I love that for you.
yes, yeah. Thank you, thank
Oh,
you.
of course. Well, this has been so amazing. I would love to know, and my listeners would love to know, where can they find you, follow you, or reach out to you and experience your services?
Uh, quite honestly, the best where you're gonna always get the most information is through my newsletters, which and you can find that on my website, which is Colleen dash Fletcher. You have to put the dash in there. Dash Fletcher.com. I am on Facebook, and most of them are like something along the lines of Colleen Fletcher 3 or something like that, because I'm on TikTok. I'm going to do more, I think, there, more videos,
Oh, that'd be
that
good.
type of thing. I have a YouTube channel, Facebook, Instagram. Those are the main ones that I use. I have an ongoing meditation it's called Yumi in the Trees.
Okay.
And the group for that is it's on Facebook. But it's
That's
put out on other places as well, so
perfect.
those are the main ones. Yeah, you just pretty much have to remember Colleen Fletcher 3 somehow mixed up in there, right?
I love it. Well,
Yeah.
we'll have that all in our show notes below. And this was great. Do you have any final words for our audience before we get off today?
Yeah, smile. Wake up every day, smile, change our world through a smile, and maybe go outside and take like a nice deep breath of fresh air and drink some good water, and then go on about your day.
Oh,
Start the day with love and kindness. How's that?
I love that. That was so
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Well,
Thank you.
thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm so happy to be here. This has been great. Thank you
Yeah,
so much. Thank you.
you're very welcome. Thank you so much for being a part of this space and for listening to today's episode of Beauty Talk Confessions. I wanted to take a moment and recognize our amazing sponsors, Prickly Bear, a desert-curated post-hair removal skincare line with pre- and post-care products created to support healthy skin beyond the treatment room, launching this summer. If this conversation resonated with you, make sure to follow the show and share it with someone in the beauty industry. Staying connected is how we grow, learn, and support each other. You can also follow us on Instagram at Beauty Talk Confessions and Prickly Bear for updates, behind the scenes, and more conversations like this. And if you have a moment, leaving a review helps this podcast reach more people who need this conversation too, and it would mean the world to me. This is Beauty Talk Confessions, and I'll see you next week.